welcome back to Love Your Life. As promised last week, I'm bringing you two great organizations and a local lady who makes masks for the hard of hearing. Watch till the end so you can see how you can support these amazing local causes. Let's dive in. First up, Jessica Nash is going to tell us all about her masks, which are made especially for the hard of hearing. So could you, before we begin, tell us a little bit more about yourself?
So I have been homeschooling and doing crafts for many years. In fact, that's how I met Aya's family. We met at Labyrinth during crafting. So I have been sewing for most of my life. I started sewing when I was in middle school and I made my own dress to wear to my prom. And so that started my sewing journey. And I didn't get really into sewing clothes for a very long time because it's so easy to go buy your clothes, right? And so I started homeschooling my children and I was stuck at home. So I started doing more and more crafts. And through homeschooling, I found a group called the King County Repair Cafe. And I will send you that link. And it's a fantastic organization that sends people out to repair old things and fix clothes or vacuums or any of these things that we don't want really to go into the landfill. Right. We want to try to repair things before we ship them off to the trash.
I'll put the link in the description for everybody who's interested. So
my part of this is sewing though.
Right.
And with COVID, we can't sew anymore. We can't really go out and do these public events.
So is that what inspired you to make masks?
So that is how I started making these kinds of masks.
Okay, so specifically your hard of hearing masks, how did that come to be?
So I started making these masks for the hospital, and then the hospital realized that they had a whole set of sewers under their purview, and so we started making these. Actually, I've only made a couple so far because we just got started making these, and they're actually for the speech therapy section of the hospital. So when the children come in, it's really hard for the pathologist to work with them.
Right.
With being safe. And so I did these, and I'm still creating more of them. In fact, the first batch was sent and we are waiting for just how they did and any tips and tricks. And if they're too close to the mouth, then it gets all wet.
Okay, so they're still in the works, but have you considered handing them out at local grocery stores?
I am going to. I have not finished enough that I feel like that I should be able to give them out yet. So that's going to be my next step.
One more question. Are you handing out your masks? And if so, where can people find them?
I am not handing them out yet, but I will give you a link that you can find a tutorial to make them.
Okay.
And YouTube has a ton of tutorials and they're fantastic and pretty easy to make actually.
Okay.
Just takes a little bit of time.
Thank you so much for being interviewed. It was really fun to learn about your masks, and thanks for doing this.
Okay, no problem. I had a great time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Keep us posted on how it's going. My next segment is all about Neighborly Needs, which is a local initiative that started a few years ago. Here's what it's all about. Hi everyone, I'm here with Mu'min Khan, and he's going to be telling me about Neighborly Needs, which is a program that runs out of his restaurant. So can you start by telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me on here, and I'm happy to be a part of this interview. Yeah, my name is Mu'min Khan. My family owns Cedars Restaurant. It's a restaurant that's been around since 1974. I'm the third generation owner, and I've been running the two restaurants we have for the past, I'd say, 6-7 years now.
And so Neighborly Needs, can you explain to the audience what it is?
Sure. Yeah, so it started about 1.5 years ago, and it was in partnership with an organization called Wasat. And they basically came to me with an idea of how do we feed our neighbors in need. And one of our restaurants is closed over the weekends. So I thought, what better way to make use of the kitchen and the space than to open it up to our volunteers at the Wasat community and allow them the opportunity to just make food and then donate the food to individuals in need. And so we basically tried it out, and it worked really well. We got a lot of good responses from people, and we just decided to carry on the tradition. And so what we would do is we'd invite people to come out and make about 100 gyro sandwiches. Yeah, and we just make them, and then we bring them to the Chief Seattle Club, downtown Seattle, and then donate them.
And so it's been going on for about how long?
I'd say a year and a half up to now, yeah.
So you had a May food drive during Ramadan, and what were the adjustments you had to make due to COVID?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. COVID, as you know, affected so many people in so many different ways. What we tried, the whole team got together and brainstormed ideas of how can we make the biggest possible impact during this time? How can we serve the most people and help the most people? And so we thought of the idea of partnering with other restaurants whose business was affected by COVID, being shut down and whatnot. Catering companies run by small business operators. And so we partnered with them, and we came up with the idea of, why don't we buy 100 to 200 meals from you and then donate them directly to individuals who are seeking food help during this difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we basically set it all up. It all came together. It was very kind of last minute, but there was so much support from the community as far as volunteers. We had an entire team of volunteers literally come pick up the food from every restaurant and then bring it and donate it. Almost, they did that around 10, 12 times during Ramadan. It was a lot of work. And they did that all 100% volunteer. We had so many people donate to the cause to make this all possible. And what that did was it helped the restaurants keep their doors open during the difficult time and keep their employees employed. And then we set a goal of trying to feed 2,000 people. We exceeded that goal. I think we fed closer to 2,500.
Wow. And if the viewers in the audience wanted to help out more, how could they do so?
If people wanted to get involved, you can donate through Wasat. We are wasat.org.
Okay.
And you can get involved that way, or you can reach out to the individuals via email at Wasat if you wanted to volunteer your time, and we can figure that out as well.
I'll drop the links in the description. Thank you so much for being interviewed today. It was really cool learning about this, and thanks for doing so much for our community.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mo'min, for all you're doing. Last but not least, I'm going to be telling you about Acres of Diamonds, which is a local shelter in Duval. Even during the coronavirus, Acres of Diamonds has remained open and helped moms and children alike. You can help them out by going to the link in the description below. During this time, many people have taken up different hobbies to cope with quarantine. I myself started this channel, but my cousin took it to a different level. He's a 6-year-old and he does quarantine cooking. Tune in next week to see his amazing crumble. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and love your life. Aya out.